you're ready.
Ready?
All right.
I call the February 2025 Committee on Accreditation meeting to order. Ms. Bernardo, if you could please call the roll.
Allison Leggett. Here. Augustin Cervantes. Ann Jones. Katrina Chakowski. Patrick McKee.
Here.
Bob Fraley. Ellen Hallis.
Here.
Mike Hillis.
Here.
Malika Bryant. Here. Jason Lee. Juliana Sykes.
Here.
Kevin Taylor.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Good morning. This meeting is being conducted in hybrid fashion. All members are in person. Other participants, such as institutional representatives and team leads and some staff, will be attending virtually, while others will be in person. The Zoom link and a toll-free number have also been made available to the public. As a reminder, the meeting room in this new building include built-in microphones, speakers, cameras, and monitors. We are continuing to experience glitches in the system, so we ask for everyone's continued patience. Just a reminder that the ceiling microphones will pick up everything that is said at all times, and they're always on. So please be aware that anything that is said in this room will be captured and recorded. Therefore, side conversations should be kept to a minimum, if at all, while in this room. We will mute the room during breaks. Nevertheless, please take your informal conversations out into the hall. For those participating via Zoom, we'd like to ask that everyone check their Zoom identification and make sure it contains your first and last name accurately so we are able to call on you appropriately, and also so that we get all names accurately recorded in the meeting minutes. If you need to update your name, click on the 3 dots in the window with your picture to bring up the rename option. When it is time to take up an item, we'll need a moment to bring the appropriate virtual attendees into the main Zoom meeting room and make sure they can see and hear the committee and we can see and hear them. Participants will need to turn on their camera and unmute their microphone. If any member of the public wishes to comment on a specific item, please use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen during the item, or if you are in person, please complete a card which will be available at the back of the room. You will be brought into the main meeting room at the appropriate time and asked to state your name and affiliation for the record. If you wish to speak on a specific item, please send a request through the chat feature telling us which item you wish to speak on so we can make sure to call on you during the appropriate time, or you can send your comments through the chat feature and we will read those aloud. Please make sure we have your full name and affiliation and which item number and name. There's also a time designated for general public comment at the end of the meeting. Public comment will be restricted to 2 minutes. This meeting is being recorded. After the meeting ends, the archived audio and video will be available on the Commission's website. For our committee members, when you make the motions, please state the motion in full so that there is no question what the motion is. Because we have not the next line, and we also have, do we want to update the attendance for Ann?
Yes.
Welcome. Ann Jones has joined us as well. We have quorum, but she's also present in our meeting today, so welcome. Do any committee members have any questions about these protocols or about our voting today? All right. Item number 2 is the approval of the agenda. The first item is going to be approving today's agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda for the February 2025 meeting? Member Kevin Taylor. Member Kevin Taylor.
Any of those will do.
Yes, so we know.
I move that the committee approve the agenda for today's meeting.
Excellent. We have a first by Member Taylor. Do we have a second? Member Hillis? And all those in favor, if you can say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. And it looks like the motion carries. Item number 3 is the approval of the minutes of the prior meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the October 2024 meeting? It would be appropriate for any committee member not in attendance at that meeting to abstain. We have a motion from Member Taylor.
I move that the committee approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Excellent. And do we have a second on the motion? Member Hillis? Any corrections or changes? All those in favor, if you can say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? All right, and the motion carries. So item number 4 is the co-chair and member reports. And do we have any members that would like to make any reports? Any of our members, anything you'd like to share? I would just like to share a level of appreciation from the induction community to Cluster 1. They have been leading the New Leaders Academy this year, and it's been quite the toll to be able to lead a statewide conference. It's been a virtual conference, I believe a 3-part series that they've been working hard on, 3.5 to 4 hours a day, training all the new leaders in the state of California. And this is all voluntary. They're doing this in addition to all their additional duties and responsibilities. And it's going to be coming out in the PSD news, but they've decided to open up the April meeting to all induction leaders and really expand it because there has not been really an opportunity to set up a statewide conference, but to have that virtual opportunity for everyone to get together. So I know a lot of times when we're volunteering behind the scenes, to just have that level of appreciation because they really are making an impact to the state of California to continue these opportunities to connect. So just my appreciation to Cluster 1 for all they're doing to continue that induction conference.
On a similar note, I would like to acknowledge the many volunteers around the state and the CTC staff and analysts who have been working hard on the literacy certification process. An enormous undertaking, and the degree to which volunteers around the state have stepped up to be the content area experts and review, and the volume of work. I can't even imagine the volume of work that CTC staff have had to pick up in reviewing all the submissions. It was the volume of work, just putting one of those things together was enough to give me pause. And then when we finally submitted, I sat back and reflected and was grateful, and then immediately thought of my colleagues at CTC and thought, holy crap, that's got a lot of work on. And so I'm grateful for that because it really is, now that I'm more deeply involved in it than I ever thought I would be, I'm really appreciating the importance of this work to ensure that teachers are well prepared to support early learners in the growth of their reading ability. It's a foundation upon which everything else is built. It is so critically important that every one of our children can read and read well and feel good about their reading ability. So it's critical work, and that's a big turnaround for me, because when I first looked at it, I looked at it solely from the perspective of, you mean we've got to do what? Oh my goodness. It is a lot of work, but it's important work.
And thank you, Member Taylor. I think, during this year with accreditation timelines on hold, there was still a lot of work going on behind the scenes with all the literacy certifications. But you said something important, which speaks to volumes to what we're doing today. Is accreditation is a lot of work, but it really helps every program begin to see what and why they do what they do. And I just commend everyone that's going to be here today. There's a lot of work that went into what we're going to be talking about today, and that is appreciated. The entire commission staff and all you do to support all the programs in the state. Any other?
People don't see that. People don't see that work, so it's important for us to acknowledge it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other members? Item 5 is staff reports. We're actually going to move this a little bit later on. There's some joint meetings going on simultaneously, so we'll come to that later on during the day today. So we're going to actually move on to item number 6. And item number 6 are program approval recommendations. And this section is for action. If you could please make sure you're using the correct version that has insert in the link title, as we have added several programs in recent days. Today, there are a total of 7 programs for approval. Because of the time schedule for site visit reports, we had divided this into a part 1 and a part 2, and part 2 will take place this afternoon. The first institution is Napa County Office of Education's CLEAR Administrative Services Credential, or CASC program. Joining us today from Napa County Office of Education to answer any questions you may have about the program are Ron Ike, the Induction Program Manager, and Jill Barnes, Director of Mental Health and Professional Learning. And as we have them join us, do we have any recusals on this item? No, seeing none, and we do have our quorum today. So welcome to our institutional representatives. Would either of you like to say anything about your proposed program?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
We can, thank you.
Good morning. First off, thank you to the Committee on Accreditation for allowing us to present our program and for your consideration today. In hearing the prior conversation has definitely been a lot of work, and to have that validation is greatly appreciated. We also want to thank the IPR team, including Poonam and Miranda, for their support and feedback, and all the reviewers of the program as well. The feedback that we've received has been very valuable, and it's been such a robust process to really fine tune and ensure that we're able to offer a high quality program for our candidates. And we're just very excited for the opportunity to offer a localized program that can support our educational leaders and help them on their journey. So thank you for the time today.
Thank you so much. And Jill, did you want to share anything?
Good morning, Commissioner Patrick. Thank you so much. My name is Jill Barnes, Director of Mental Health and Professional Learning here at Napa County Office of Education. And Ron is the Program Manager here. And I want to just echo what Ron said. Thank you so much for your time this morning. You have a lot on your agenda, so we'll move right into any questions you might have, but we're very grateful to the staff and all of the work you guys do behind the scenes. We know it's a lot of lift on your end, and we appreciate the support for this process and getting to this point.
Thank you both for being here today and speaking on your program. We'll now open for public comment. As a reminder, if there are any members of the public that would like to provide a comment, please notify the meeting moderator by submitting a request card by clicking on the raise hand icon if participating through Zoom, or by pressing star 9 if participating by phone. And comments will be limited to 2 minutes. Do we have any public comments?
No public comment.
No public comments. So we have an opportunity for our committee members to ask any questions they have from representatives of the Napa County Office of Education. Any questions from our committee members? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the Clear Administrative Services Credential Program for the Napa County Office of Education? I have a motion from Member Leggett.
I move to approve the Clear Administrative Services Credential through Napa County Office of Education.
Thank you so much. And do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Member Taylor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. And we have no recusal. So congratulations. You have now been approved for the Clear Administrative Services Credential Program. We wish you the absolute best as you move forward with implementing this program.
Thank you
very
so much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. The second institution this morning is the Fresno Unified School District's Clear Administrative Services Credential Program. Joining us today from Fresno Unified School District to answer any questions you may have about this program is Dr. Kimberly Villesquez, the Executive Director of Fresno Unified School District's Leadership Development Team. Do we have any recusals on this item? Looks like we have none. And we have our institutional representatives here. Welcome. Would you like to say anything about your proposed program?
So first, I'd like to say thank you to Poonam and Rosemary and the review committee for asking the right questions, to help us think deeper and really co-create a program that's going to be valuable and really build the capacity of our leaders. So thank you for giving us this opportunity.
And thank you also for acknowledging the hard work. Again, the theme this morning, the hard work behind the scenes of everybody, all of our programs, as well as the commission. And as we move forward, are there any public comments?
No public comment.
Do any committee members have any questions from the representatives for Fresno Unified School District? And we have member Taylor.
Yeah, I was interested, your focus is solely within your own district. Can you elaborate on why? Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, great question. So currently right now, our program falls under Fresno County Office of Ed. And Fresno Unified is the third largest district in California. And our surrounding districts are rural areas that are a lot smaller. And so what we found out from our leaders was that it was difficult for Fresno County Office of Ed to really be able to support that very diverse group of school districts for that support. And so we were talking with other districts within California, and we felt so that we aren't taking away from those supports and the needs of the rural areas, that it would be beneficial for both Fresno County and Fresno Unified if we had our own CAS program that was more geared towards the needs of Fresno Unified.
Thank you. Any other questions from our members? Seeing no questions, do we have a motion for the approval of the Clear Administrative Services Credential for Fresno Unified School District? We have a motion from member Taylor.
I move that the Committee on Accreditation approve the CAS program for Fresno Unified School District.
Excellent. And do we have a second? We have a second from member Hollis. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. And we have no recusal. So congratulations on the approval of your Clear Administrative Services Credential Program.
Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
All right, thank you. We wish you the best as you implement your program to support your leaders.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The third institution this morning is the University of Southern California's Mathematics Instructional Added Authorization MIAA program. Joining us today from the University of Southern California to answer any questions you may have about this program are Paloma Hines, the Program Administrator for Mathematics Instructional Added Authorization and PK-12 Family Literacy Program for the USC Rossier Office of Professional Learning. Dr. Xiomara Mateo Gaxiola, and my apologies if I did not pronounce your name correctly, the MIA Supervisor, Director of Community Engagement for the USC Rossier Office of Professional Learning and Adjunct Associate Professor for USC Rossier, and Dr. Kathy Kreisha, Director of Accreditation for the USC Rossier School of Education. Do we have any recusals on this item?
And I realized this going in different order than what's on the insert, so just so we'll go back to the other ones.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
And are we waiting for Dr.
I
Kreisha?
I don't see.
Downstairs with the TPA worker.
Oh, she's with the TPA work group, okay.
I thought I saw her coming in this morning, so are we waiting for her to join us in person, or is she not?
I believe her plan was to be up here. Do you want me to run down and get her?
Oh, that would be wonderful. Ursula, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kara had me send her a chat to let her know too. So
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So since we are a little bit out of order, can you just pause for a moment? Is that okay, or do you
Yeah,
want
we
to?
can pause if you'd like.
Okay, I think we should probably wait since she is in the building, so
Yes.
we'll just pause for members of our public that she is in the building, and we'll just wait for her to come up to this meeting.
And if you'd like, we could go back and do the one because we don't have people for that one. So the
Okay.
the one that's on the agenda, I believe.
Actually download the item to see it.
Which item? What? Yeah, you have to download the item. I have it downloaded. I was just gonna say, adding an intern pathway to an existing PPS program for school counseling for CSU for San Francisco. We
Okay,
don't have any individuals from San Francisco here. Just wanted to remind you all that there is nothing more that the institution provides us for adding an intern pathway for PPS. It's different than an intern pathway for teaching. There's nothing different. It's sort of the only way they can get paid or it allows, but there's no additional, so it's just mostly a formality for you to approve that here. So if you want to go ahead and vote that one up, that one's fine.
So for our guests who are virtual, we're just gonna wait for Dr. Accreditation to come up. We're gonna move to a different agenda item and then we'll be right back with you.
We'll keep you on.
So we'll keep you posted. For our committee members, are we okay moving forward on that? Okay, so we are going to now move to the San Francisco State University adding an intern pathway to an existing pupil personnel services school counselor program. The institutional representatives are unable to join us today. And just as a reminder, as Ms. Hickey has shared, that adding an intern pathway to PPS is not like adding a pathway for teaching. Do we have any recusals on this item? Seeing none, do we have any public comments on this item?
No public comment.
Seeing none, do we have any committee members who have any questions on the item? It wouldn't be for the institution, but any questions or anything that you're wanting to discuss on the item?
No, I was just going to speak about the fact that I appreciate that they're doing this. It's makes an affordable way for people to complete their education in an area of critical need for the state. And see state universities taking on these challenging situations and making them available.
Agreed. I definitely think that this is one of those examples of removing the barriers. And so again, greatly appreciated. Any other member comments or questions? And we just moved to another item. We're gonna be right back because we wanted to wait for you. So we're not on your item. So
But it's fine.
Stay right there. But we're not on your item, just so there's not any confusion. We'll be back with you. We just moved forward. So do we have a motion to approve the adding of an intern pathway to an existing pupil personnel services school counselor program for San Diego State University? And
San Francisco.
I said the wrong city. And it's not like it's not spelled out correctly here. San Francisco State University. And we have member Taylor.
I move that the committee approve adding an intern pathway to an existing pupil personnel services school counselor program at the California State University, San Francisco.
And thank you for saying this so much better than I did. So member Taylor, and we have a second, I think I saw from member Leggett. All those in favor, if you can say aye. All opposed, say no. And we had no recusals. So congratulations to our San Francisco State University for the approval of that program. And now we're gonna move on back to our agenda. We heard you were in the building, so we wanted to give you the opportunity to come back up. So we are going to move back to the University of Southern California's Mathematics Instructional Added Authorization Program. And as mentioned, we're waiting for Dr. Accreditation, who is in the building, who's here in person. So thank you for joining us. Do we have any recusals on the item? All right, seeing none, we do not see proposals for this kind of program often. So would the institutional representatives like to say anything about their proposed program?
Hi, good morning. Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. We'd like to specifically thank Poonam, Rosemary, Miranda for their guidance and support throughout this entire process. We truly, truly appreciate your help. We are very excited to propose the second mathematics instructional added authorization to exist in the state of California. We've worked very, very hard. This MIA program is designed to enhance teaching and learning environments for pre-K through 8th grade math students. We have carefully considered the type of teacher for our program, whether it be a newer teacher who they themselves have struggled with math or a veteran teacher who's taught with a strong mathematical background. This program offers an impactful experience for all levels of teaching. We have worked so hard to build a wonderful program, and we are very excited to be at this stage in the process. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Would any other institutional representatives like to share anything?
I'd just like to say thank you to the Commission for providing standards and guidance in developing really strong, high-quality programs. We appreciate the work that the Commission does in ensuring that all of our adult learners have what they need to provide students with what they need. So we're very grateful for that experience. Thank you.
And Dr. Kreischer, since you're here in person, would you like to share anything?
Nice to see all of you again. I just want to echo everything that they were saying and also just really talk about what hard work went into the development of the program and the fantastic attention to detail that both Alameda and Paloma did in meeting the standards and building a good program. And it's I was really shocked to see that there was only one other program like this in the state. And I thought, wow, it's about time. And so I'm really happy that, we're doing it. And again, thank you to the Commission for all the support and all the help because, the process can be long sometimes, but, at the end of the day, everybody's kind of on the same page, just really wanting to have high quality programs. And I feel this is one, and I'm very happy to be supportive. I almost feel kind of superfluous because they did all the work, really. And I'm just kind of here as support. So thank you all very much so.
Thank you so much. And are there any public comments on this item?
No public comments.
Do we have any committee members who have questions for the representatives from USC? And we have Member Hillis.
Yeah, I was just curious, even though I know the program isn't established yet, are you getting preliminary indications of interest out in the field of people that would be wanting to sign up for this?
Thank you for your question. And actually, yes, we have a very robust reading RLLA program. And from one of the districts that are partnered with that program came this idea of math support for their teachers. And so that's what sparked it. And here we are years later in this approval meeting. And there is interest and we are excited to offer another program.
Other committee members, and we have Member Bryant.
I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you for your hard work in putting something together that is really needed and necessary in our communities. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other, we have Member Hallis?
Yeah, I just want to second what Member Bryan said. We have a lot of great math PD up and down the state, but having something tangible from the CTC, right, that can follow them in their career, I think is a great thing. And I hope other programs follow suit.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I just want to highlight our faculty team also and our program design team. They've been extremely invaluable to this process and to their enthusiasm for math education. So I want to make sure to give them their credit and their kudos in this process too.
We have Member Taylor.
You're all talking about teamwork. And I really appreciate that. Good programs come when you got a lot of different people and a lot of diverse ideas coming together and great leadership. It's good to see you, Dr. Kreischer.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And I'm excited to see the success of this program down the road.
Thank you. I want to echo what was shared that, learning that there's only 2 programs in the state, but many districts have like math intervention teachers and people in roles of specialty. And to know that there's only 2 programs in the state of California upon approval today that would be able to offer that. I think this is really something that is needed because we are offering intervention, especially if I think about elementary settings. There's a lot of intervention being offered, but how do we ensure that those educators have the mathematics expertise and the twofold of your program that you spoke to for new teachers and veteran teachers, that there's an opportunity that you're embracing all educators who have this interest is to be commended. Any other comments, questions?
Just a quick comment. I just want to thank the team at USD. I know that because there's only one other one of these, Kathy was asking us a lot of questions that we didn't know the answer to because we haven't had that kind of experience with these programs. So it'd be good, in a year or so to touch base and say, how's it going? What are the challenges with the standards? let's see what we can do to expand these programs statewide. So we'd love to touch base and understand how it's working and what's happening at USC.
Absolutely.
Pretty soon it sounds like you may be the veterans of the expert group of this credential or added authorization area rather. So with that, do we have a motion to approve the mathematics instructional added authorization program for USC? And we have a motion from Member Leggett.
I motion to move forward with a mathematics instructional added authorization, MIAA, for University of Southern California.
And do we have a second? Member Bryant. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Congratulations, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
Forward.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. And thank you also for joining us in person. So
Good to see you.
wonderful
all.
to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you guys. I miss you guys.
So we are, I believe, moving to the next proposal is the University of Laverne. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the last one of this section.
All right. And for this one, actually, I'm going to pass the meeting over to Member Hallis because I'll be recusing myself on this item. So Member Hallis is going to be leading us forward.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. All righty. So our next proposal is from the University of Laverne to add a child welfare and attendance program to an existing pupil personnel services credential program. Joining us today from University of Laverne to answer any questions you may have about the programs are Veronica Escoffery-Runnels, Director, Educational Counseling and School Psychology Program, Laura Ibarra, Assistant Program Chair, Educational Counseling and School Psychology, Shanna Matamala, Assistant Dean, Academic Affairs. Do we have any recusals on this item other than Co-Chair McKee? Would the institutional representatives like to say anything about the proposed program?
Yes, indeed. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, members of the committee, for allowing us to share a few words about our CWA certification proposal. We would also like to say thank you to Miranda and other CTC staff who took the time to answer our many questions and provide clarification. Relative to our proposal for the CWA, we are very enthusiastic about the advent of gaining approval because we believe that it will allow our candidates to gain the specialized training that they need in attendance improvement and dropout prevention, as well as student engagement. So it really fits well into our program because it will support and refine the skills that they're already learning relative to database decision-making, collaboration with community and school partners, as well as implementing programs to support students and provide equity and address issues of equity. So we are very excited to move forward and hoping that we will gain the approval so that we can allow our students as they're moving out into the professional world to have that additional resource and that additional knowledge that will serve the schools and districts that they work in. Thank you.
Other members of the institution like to comment? All right. Are there any public comments?
There are no public comments.
Okay, seeing none. Do any committee members have any questions for the representatives from the University of Laverne? Okay. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the Child Welfare and Attendance Program to an existing Pupil Personnel Services Credential Program for the University of Laverne? Member Taylor.
I move the committee approve the addition of a child welfare and attendance program to an existing Pupil Personnel Services Credential Program at the University of Laverne.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Member Hillis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Congratulations to the University.
Thank you. Thank you. Our students will be excited about this.
Yes,
Wishing all a pleasant day. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you so much. I will turn it back over to Co-Chair McKee.
I think we could do. Because, so we have Ursula Estrada Reveles is here and she's co-chairing the RDI TPA meeting downstairs. So if we can move to the item for you, that way you can get back downstairs quickly and then we'll go back to the one before. So that is, which one is that one?
San Benito.
San Benito, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you again, Member Hallis, for stepping in. I truly appreciate that. So we're moving to item 10, is that correct? The San Benito County Office of Education. Thank you for your patience this morning and working with us. So with that, item 10 is the report of the provisional site visit team for San Benito County Office of Education. Consultant Dr. Rosemary Wren will introduce this item.
Get her on, hold on a second.
Oh, excellent. So we'll just wait a moment until we get Dr. Wren on. We're waiting to get into everyone joining us. Is there anyone that will be recusing themselves on this item? No, so we're good there. There we are. Good morning, Dr. Wren. Joining her is team lead, Dr. Ursula Estrada Reveles, who is here in person, as well as institutional representatives. We have the San Benito County Office of Education Deputy Superintendent, Jennifer Logue, and the Coordinator of Instructional Support, Tony Valvas. And Dr. Wren, if you could please begin.
And I think we're still getting on a couple of institutional people. It looks like,
We'll wait just a moment.
somebody's, there we go. Looks like that's Jennifer. Logue.
We got Jennifer and
I can't see
that. I think that's Tony in the top left.
Okay,
Excellent. Welcome. Looks like we got everybody here. So looks like we are good. Dr. Wren, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, committee members. This item is the report on the provisional accreditation site visit to San Benito County Office of Education. The visit took place via Zoom, January 27th through 29th, 2025. This is step 5 of the initial institutional approval process for San Benito County Office of Education. Ursula Estrada Reveles served as the team lead on this visit and will present a summary of the team's findings.
Thank you, Rosemary. It was such a pleasant visit to be able to engage with San Benito County Office of Education. I'd like to commend their program leadership for just doing an outstanding job supporting their candidates. You might be familiar with the fact that formally they were operating under a different auspice, but because of their geography, there were some hurdles for their candidates in terms of drive time and things of that nature, which led to the submission of this program. And so we felt that they did a wonderful job. Again, it is a provisional program, so it's very young. They don't quite have a year under their belt yet. And so with that, I'm sure that you're not surprised that we did find a couple of things that we felt needed to be addressed. First and foremost, precondition 5. And in a few minutes, I'll turn it over to Rosemary Wren to give us an update on where they are with that. But I just want to say they've been very responsive and very open to our feedback. So in addition to the finding on precondition 5, we also had a finding in relationship to Common Standard 3, which is related to a degree to the precondition finding. Common Standard 3 is related to the course of study, fieldwork, and clinical practice. So we felt that that could be strengthened. And then in addition to that, there was a finding regarding program impact for Common Standard 5, which is the degree to which their candidates have a positive impact on K-12 student learning.
And one of the things I think might be good, just as a committee here, if Ms. Hickey can talk about a little bit about a provisional site visit. This is a newer process within the last couple of years. So for all of us, just to ground ourselves on what this is in terms of stage 5.
Right. So in the initial institutional approval process that we developed, that you all helped develop, and that went to the commission, and the institution goes through a multi-stage process to get approved provisionally by the committee by the full commission. As an institution that can offer preparation programs. And then they submit, once they get that approval, they submit that documentation for the program approval to all of you. You approve the program, and then the institution operates for, usually it's between 2 to 4 years. Usually it's long enough to at least have one set of graduates from the institution. And then there is a site visit that is conducted. at the end of that site visit, the institution goes forward to the to this body here to look at how they did on the site visit and to make the same kinds of decisions you normally make on any other institution. We made a slight change in the process about 2 years ago, and some of you might recall that. So if there are stipulations during that provisional site visit, we, instead of going forward to the commission for that second time for the full approval, it remains here with the Committee on Accreditation to work with the institution to clean up those stipulations. And then once those stipulations are removed, it then goes to the final commission for sort of permanent approval, for lack of a better term. So that's the process essentially here at this time, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And it is 2 to 4, depending on the length of the program and when they will have graduates or candidates that come out of the program.
So once they go forward to the commission, then they're on that 7-year accreditation cycle, like all of their programs.
That's
but
correct.
They're not there yet until this, whatever is determined today.
That is correct.
Excellent. Do any of our committee members have questions on process before? I think you mentioned Dr. Wren had some additional pieces that she was going to share.
Yes.
Any other process-wise questions? Thank you for allowing us to interrupt Dr. Wren on that, just so we can talk process. I think there were some additional details you wanted to add in.
Thank you so much. Yes. And I would like to point out at this time to the committee that San Benito County Office of Education has taken action to address the stipulation related to program precondition 5. And they have provided evidence demonstrating that program documentation has been updated and all constituent groups involved have received clarification on the non-evaluative role of the individual learning plan. Therefore, commission staff and the team lead have found this precondition to now be aligned and recommend the committee removes the stipulation related to program precondition 5. And that's it. So I'll turn it over to Tony and Jennifer back to you, I guess, and then you can, if you have any questions about that, and then they'll be ready to share their perspective.
That is perfect. We would like to invite our institutional representatives to briefly comment about the visit. So would either one of you like to share anything with us?
Oh, we can't hear.
We are, I think you're muted, possibly, Jennifer.
Of course, that's always
Excellent,
what
thank you.
happens, right? All right. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you very much for just taking the time to review our program and to speak with us today. I do want to commend Dr. Wren for her work with us. She has made the site visit very easy. She was there to answer our questions and take us through every step of the way. And I also want to thank Dr. Estrada Reveles, because her site team, they came in, it was obvious that they had read everything, that they understood the program, and they asked excellent questions. And it has really been an excellent process for us. It's helped us to look critically at our program and make some changes and strengthen it so that it's a much stronger program. And so we appreciate the entire site visit process. Lastly, I do want to just say that we have been working on some of those stipulations, and we believe that those will be in place or addressed very quickly. And we want to work with you to provide a quality program.
Thank you. And Mr. Balbus, would you like to share anything?
Thank you. I just want to echo what Jennifer said. It was an incredible process. We felt seen. They took into account our context and what we're working with here in our county, and they really led us toward continuous improvement, I think, in this whole process. And we're really excited moving forward. Even the stipulations we've been working on, it's an empowering thing when you know the goal and you can work toward it. So thank you to everyone involved. Thanks for hearing us.
Thank you for the acknowledgement and for the excitement about the process. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
There's an opportunity now for our committee members. If you have any questions you would have of the institution or the process. We have Member Hillis.
Just a technical thing in the table. Under program standards, it says 5 were met and 1 was met with concerns. But then down below, it talks about 3 of the program standards not being met with concerns. So there's inconsistency between those two.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So it looks like, was it met with concerns was only 1, 2, and 5 were found to be met. Standards 3, 4, and 6 were met with concerns. So it should reflect 3. We will get that fixed.
Thank you.
Thank you for noticing that. It goes to the point you had mentioned earlier that we do read what comes before us, and the detail is greatly appreciated. I just would like to share when I took a look at the stipulations, it seems like those are things that you could navigate. It looks like there are components that, like adult learning theory, adding it into your mentor training, like these don't seem to be, in my personal perspective, to be like major overhauls that you have to do. It looks like from what was shared earlier, you have a program in place. You're going through a process now to make sure that it matches the integrity of the program that you initially got provisional approval for. And I'm just looking forward to seeing the progress reports. And I have no doubt that these things will come together and maintain that excitement as you continue the fidelity of the program that you're developing. We have Member Bryant.
I'd just like to add to that. I had the same observation. These feel like growing pain areas, right? You're learning, you're growing, you're changing, you're adapting. It's a big process to undertake what you're doing to add a program to an institution, create all of that, the infrastructure, and provide a process to teachers and do it with a smile on your face that you are as you are. So recognizing that you will always be learning and growing in this process because our education system is always moving and grooving, right? So I think that you're on the path and it's really exciting to see that. So,
Thank you. And we do agree. So some of those stipulations we looked at and it really just improves the quality of our program. And so we've already, we actually are meeting with our induction coaches this afternoon, and we're already implementing a little bit of the adult learning theory. So we're well on our way.
Excellent. Any other members? So we're then looking for a motion from our members. And as a reminder, I believe the recommendation in the motion would be to remove the precondition stipulation. Again, up for whoever would like to make the motion.
Is that a first motion or
that is
part of the combined motion?
Yeah, it would be a
I
combined.
think you could do a combined for accreditation with stipulation with a notation that precondition 5 has been addressed.
Member Taylor's hands up, so he's gonna go for it.
Brave or foolish. I would like to recommend that the committee approve accreditation with stipulations for San Benito County Office of Education with the removal of precondition 5 stipulation and a correction to the report that there are 3 program standards met with concerns for the San Benito County Office of Education Professional Preparation Programs Teacher Induction Program.
Well, very
Well done. All right, do we have a second? You don't have to repeat all that, just a second on the motion. We have a second from Member Jones. And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion carries, and congratulations again. What I wanted just as an end note is I know the Common Standard 5 is about making a positive impact, and just your positive energy you have today and your resilience to process, I'm confident we're going to see that positive impact coming forward. So again, well done, and thank you for leading forward on this.
Thank you so much.
You. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Estrada Ravelas, for doing double duty today.
Yes. So we are at, we're actually right on time for, are we on item?
We go back.
We're going back, yes, that's right.
We can go back to 9. Do we have anybody for the other item? I can't remember.
For item 7.
Okay, so we probably should do 7.
Thank you for helping.
San Diego, adding a new content area.
representatives from. So San Diego adding world language.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move back to item number 7, specifically to part C or from the beginning.
We could do part C and then go back.
Okay, so we're gonna go to item for our committee members and the public. We're going to item number 7. Report of program status changes. This item is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 includes items for action by the COA, and part 2 provides information on programs. And those items are for notification only and require no action by the COA. We are going to go to C, adding a new content area to an existing program. There's one institution requesting to add a content area to their existing programs. CSU San Diego, adding world languages, English language development to their menu of single subject programs. We have representatives from CSU San Diego if you have any questions about the program. We have Dr. Nina Potter, Director of Accreditation, Program Review and Assessment, and Dr. Tamara Collins Parks, Graduate Advisor. Before we begin, do we have any recusals on the item? Looks like we have none, and it looks like we have our team here. So would the institution wish to say anything about their program?
I'm unmuted, so I'll go. Thank you so much for helping us with this process, and it's about time.
Thanks, Tamara. Yeah, thanks. Thank you all for this time. It's something that we've been hearing more from graduates as well as school districts, more and more requests for this credential. So we're excited to be able to offer it soon.
And by about time, I mean for us to do it. I'm not talking about you guys, sorry.
No worries, I interpreted that. It definitely is a long process. We appreciate your perseverance through process. With that, are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Do any of our committee members have any questions for the program? We have Member Taylor.
Just a comment, I really like it when state universities step up and answer calls from their community. So I'm grateful to you all for doing the work to and putting in the time to develop this and bring it before us today.
Thank you, Member Taylor. Any other members? This is an action item, so do we have a motion? Member Taylor.
I move that the committee approve the addition of single subject world languages English development to the San Diego State University accreditation.
As a part of their menu of single subject programs. Excellent.
That was what I implied by that.
Yeah. Wonderful. Do we have a second? And we have all 3 hands at the same time. I'm going to go for Member Leggett because she was right in a line of I have to make sure I'm looking a little bit more to the right. So with that, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And all those who are opposed, say no. And looks like we have a motion that carries. Congratulations on the approval of this program.
Thank you all very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
We'll move to 9 now.
So now we're going to move to item 9. Okay, so for item number 9, this is the discussion of the 3rd quarterly report from Santa Clara County Office of Education. Consultant Dr. Rosemary Wren and Administrator Miranda Gutierrez will present this item. They are joined by institutional representatives. We have Mock Keg-Elmeyer, the Director of EPP, Robin Stone, the coordinator, and Jen Pender, coordinator. Does anyone need to recuse themselves on this item? Recusals and it looks like we're waiting for a couple more people. Thank you for your patience. 1, 2, looks like we have. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. We have everybody here. So Dr. Wren, if you could please begin.
Good morning again, committee members. This item presents the 3rd quarterly report for Santa Clara County Office of Education. The accreditation site visit was held in February 2024, and at the March 2024, the Committee on Accreditation meeting, the committee accepted the team's recommendation of accreditation with stipulations. At the time of the visit, the team found 2 common standards less than fully met, which centered around supervision at clinical practice sites, as well as continuous improvement. The team's findings within the program standards are spread across the 3 education specialist programs and the teacher induction program. Santa Clara County Office of Education presented their second quarterly report at the October Committee on Accreditation meeting and is submitting this report today in compliance with the stipulations. And now Miranda will update you with what has taken place since the October meeting.
Thank you, Dr. Wren. Since the October meeting, Santa Clara has continued to create tools and structures to implement the actions that they identified in their second quarterly report. And since then, Rosemary and I have continued to meet monthly with the Santa Clara team to discuss their progress and give feedback. Staff reviewed this report, summarized the actions, and staff recommendations for next steps are included. We also met with the site revisit team to prepare for this revisit, and this report was provided to the revisit team to inform the visit, and the visit will actually be held next Monday through Wednesday, and we will return in April with the accreditation report for the revisit. And at this time, I will turn it over to the Santa Clara team. They will share more information about the progress they've made and the steps they've taken.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be here to talk about all the progress that we've made. I want to thank Rosemary and Miranda for really being our guides through this process. I also want to thank you for all you're doing, as mentioned earlier, with SB 488. And it seems like every email is coming from one of you too. And so I know that you have a lot of hats. So I appreciate all the hats that you're wearing and all the support you provided through this process, but also through other processes. I also want to thank Jen and Robin, who are going to be presenting in a minute, as well as the additional advisors that we have hired who aren't here today to make sure that we are better addressing these the needs of our candidates and better addressing these stipulations. And I also want to just say thank you in general for the positive focus of this meeting. I love it. So we need that positivity in the world today. So I'm going to focus, what I'm going to talk about is how we've strengthened our data-driven continuous improvement to better support our candidate preparation. I'm also going to highlight the key data that illustrate the impact of our program enhancements, particularly in relation to the TPA performance and IEP preparation. This is going to illustrate the impact of our data-driven decisions and how we're ensuring candidates are well prepared for the classroom. So we've taken deliberate steps to embed data-driven decision-making into our program's culture. We implemented a comprehensive data school year cycle to track program effectiveness. We've developed a work plan to guide our curricular and program delivery adjustments, and we've enhanced our resource allocation based on real-time data. For example, we took a look at our completer data. And the survey revealed we had strengths in identifying, and our candidates had strengths, or our program had strengths in helping candidates with identifying and addressing special needs with appropriate teaching strategies and creating safe and learning and respectful learning environments. But it highlighted the need for improved literacy instruction. So we were already focusing on this because of SB 488, but there were some additional things that we did as well based on our computer data. We've extended our classes from our literacy classes from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. We've increased our classroom observation opportunities, of course, to align with TPE 7. And we've participated in the LPA, obviously, pilot so that we are well prepared. We also added additional focus on phonological awareness along with assessment of the stages of writing. We also gather information as part of our continuous improvement from our principals, and these surveys highlighted the following strengths for our interns and induction candidates. 92% said they had ability to build positive relationships with students. 2% said they had an enthusiasm and passion for teaching, with additional strengths and willingness to seek feedback and to grow professionally, and in incorporation of inclusive and equitable teaching. Again, very important in today's environment. An area for growth for our teachers based on this principal feedback was an assessment and data analysis. All this is to say is this information then goes into our work plan and leading to an upcoming faculty meeting partially dedicated to improving these skills in this curriculum. Of course, we rely heavily on our continuous improvement recommendations from our advisory board, which includes current students, education directors from other county offices, representatives from other IHEs, leaders from nonprofit organizations, special education directors from multiple districts, and current and former coaches and faculty. For example, at our November advisory board meeting, we sought feedback on how to best support our candidates with IEP preparation and their confidence in implementing and writing IEPs. Their insights from the advisory board was incorporated into our work plan. And then Jen Pinder, when she talks, is going to talk in more detail about the feedback and how we put it into action. Now I want to pivot from the impact of our decisions and analysis over time to some specific data related to our program enhancements. So our Cal TPA, sorry, I'm fumbling over my words this morning. Our pass rate remains strong with over 90% in 22-23, and again this fall similar results. What we found with the stipulation process, which was really informative and helpful for us, is although our pass rate was high, is that I always use this phrase, our candidates seem to be on the struggle bus to get there, right? So we wanted to make it clear and obvious what they needed to do. So we really saw that theme in communication and preparation. So we've done a number of things to help them get to that pass rate with a little less mental struggle. So we systematically aligned our curriculum with assessment preparation. So one of the things we did is we added TPA tidbits, which I added in the talked about in previous sessions, which are little things that we send them, just little snippets to help keep them on track, and as well as an interactive planning document. And so candidates have found that these have been useful. Nearly 90% credited their coach as pivotal in their TPA success, and 98% of candidates confirm via the course surveys that they now see they clearly understand which elements of their coursework are aligned with the TPA. We also enhanced our IEP preparation, and some of the things we did is we added IEP quick bites, which kind of like the TPA tidbits are these little bite-sized morsels that we send out, which can be everything from timelines or a data sheet to help with, oh my gosh, my words are, but like a benchmark. So they found those useful. Those are things we added this year. Over 90% credited faculty and coursework for their IEP readiness. And then following goal writing sessions, 100% of the candidates reported confidence in writing and implementing IEPs, facilitating IEPs, and using assessment data to design student-centered programs. So in conclusion, we have a commitment to continuous growth, and this process has helped us with that for sure. Data-driven decision-making is now the cornerstone of our program. By systematically analyzing feedback from completer surveys, principal input, advisory board recommendations, faculty reflections, other key data sources, all of those things that are all included in our data school year cycle, we're going to ensure that our ongoing program improvement and everything's aligned and with the CTC standards and district expectations. So now I'm going to hand it off to Jen Pinder, who's going to talk about our data-driven program enhancements with in connection to district support providers.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I am so excited to share with you the advancements that we've made in strengthening candidate support through our district support providers. A key focus for us has been deepening the relationship between the DSPs and the interns. And to assess our progress, we surveyed our candidates, and the results affirm the impact of our support, or of this support. So over 90% of the candidates report consistent regular connections with their DSP, 95% say their DSP is highly responsive to their needs, and 100% find their DSP knowledgeable and able to answer these questions. And one of the areas in which they find the DSPs incredibly knowledgeable is IEPs, which is great because that's one of our it's a focus area for us this year. So we did have an IEP symposium, and we had overwhelmingly positive feedback. One candidate said, "I really appreciate being reminded the focus is always on the student." Another candidate said, "This symposium is very helpful. The timing is perfect." The last candidate said, "This is an amazing, timely, well-planned symposium and really appreciate the depth of knowledge and the resources shared." To continue the work with the IEP, as Mac mentioned earlier, we did have an advisory committee meeting, and we took their feedback. They wanted us to, with our DSPs and our candidates, to humanize the IEP process a little more, emphasize that family participation in IEPs is legally required, promote the homeschool collaboration as critical to student success, and encouraging an asset-based lens when working with students and families. So I think with all of the work we've done around IEPs and DSPs and interns and just connecting all of that, we are definitely on the right track for that. We've also worked closely with our faculty, coaches, and DSPs to integrate these priorities. And I just had a recent DSP convening where I talked about the IEPs, and 100% of the DSPs surveyed appreciated the focus on the IEP discussion and that felt that it was very valuable. Another way we've enhanced candidate support is through student engagement and advisory sessions, of which I do hold these monthly. During these C sessions, I provide updates on upcoming requirements, I highlight available support resources, and most importantly, I'm building the relationships with the DSPs and the candidates to better understand their needs. This also allows us to collect real-time anecdotal data. So the survey feedback from the candidate said that 100% said that the C sessions were well organized, 100% found them to be an effective use of their time, and 100% say that they are presented in a supportive manner, and it keeps them on track in the program. But our support doesn't stop with the candidates. Of course, I meet with the DSPs as well, as mentioned. I've added multiple convenings, drop-in hours to provide them with guidance. And most importantly, as I mentioned, with that DSP convening that I just held on February 24th, the feedback was very positive. 100% of attendees felt the DSPs feel supported by us here at EPP. They agreed the meeting that the meeting reinforced their roles and responsibilities, and they said that the information was presented clearly.
I apologize for interrupting, but if for our institution, if we could close out just a little bit so our committee members have an opportunity to ask some questions. So if you could just briefly share the last couple of things you'd like to share, and that'll open it up for our committee to be able to ask questions. We do have everything in front of us that came through the report as well. So I apologize for the interruption, but we do have a timeline for today as well.
No, I completely understand, not a problem at all. So at this time, I will send it over to our assistant director of EPP, Robin Stone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you, Mac. Good morning to the committee on accreditation, and good morning to Rosemary and Miranda, and thank you so much for all your ongoing support. I will be as brief as possible to let you know what improvements we have made in our induction program. Induction was added to my portfolio this year, and I'm very grateful to the folks at Butte County Office of Education for facilitating the Navigating Induction leadership journey workshops for induction coordinators. It's been incredibly helpful to do a deep dive on program standards with colleagues at sister county offices of education and school districts across the state of California. We, as Mac and Jen mentioned earlier, we take very seriously the data that we receive from our constituents. The data drives our actions in program improvement. We meet collectively as an educator preparation programs team to discuss survey data regarding all of our credentialing programs, and then the coordinators of each program meet one-on-one with Mac to identify action items that will be incorporated into our ongoing work plans. As you know, induction is a highly individualized and customized process. We take to heart the importance of this customization and individualization, and we take great care in matching mentors with our candidates. In our program, we refer to mentors as coaches. Our coaches receive one-on-one training from our coaching consultant who focuses on coaching for growth and providing our coaches with formative feedback to improve their work with our candidates. Additionally, this year we have implemented a Canvas coaching course in our learning management system, and we have implemented orientations for our coaches in order to ensure calibration around portfolio evaluation. Additionally, we offer more support this year to our candidates by providing portfolio exemplars that are updated with the new 2024 California Standards for the Teaching Profession. And we have been surveying our program constituents mid-year and end of year as well. We have implemented new protocols for our clear credential recommendation for the induction program, ensuring that candidates' prerequisites, including U.S. Constitution exam, RECA exam, and other prerequisites are indeed documented in our system, along with 40 hours of coaching and the double and triple checked portfolio from the candidate. Of course, we are very engaged in continuous program improvement. And so next steps for our areas of growth in the induction program are to improve the way we deliver our Canvas course so that it's optimized for use by our candidates as well as our coaches, and to continually increase the portfolio exemplars that help our candidates know and understand the expectations around their digital portfolios. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your input and guidance in this process.
Thank you for the information. We're going to open this up now for public comment. As a reminder, if there are any members of the public that would like to provide a comment, please notify the meeting moderator by submitting a request card by clicking on the raised hand icon if participating through Zoom, or pressing *9 if participating by phone. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
I want to give an opportunity for our committee members to ask any questions they may have for the institution. Any committee members have any questions they would like to ask? Member Taylor.
I'd like to commend you on your attention to detail. And you have the dream team there with Rosemary and Miranda, so you lucked out.
And it looks like your institution has a site visit coming up on Monday. So we're going to hear from you again, probably at an upcoming meeting. And looking at the reports that were created, I agree with you. You have some experts from the commission who have been advising you. There's some recommendations in there. So hopefully those recommendations come through next week from everything that's been advised to the consultants, because I think that overall kind of really makes for that continued strong program that you're continuing to implement. Any other members have any questions or comments? Yes, Member Bryant.
So you've done a lot of technical work in response to this work. It's very clear. And I'm curious about leadership shifts in mindset that have happened as a result of that work.
Do you mean in terms of our leadership?
Yeah, what I mean is you've received feedback and you're responding, you're in the middle of responding to that feedback. And as you continue beyond the stages where you're responding to that feedback and you're flying on your own down the road later, what does that look like for you as a team?
Well, I think one of the things we realized is that we had, and we're a fairly new team. I worked with this program 2 years ago and then have come back. So the people that were here for the original site visit, this is a different team. But one of the things that we realized was that we had processes for continuous improvement, but we weren't documenting it quite as well. And so that's really something that really has come out of this for us in terms of shifts, is how often we meet to talk about data, how we are implementing, how we're gathering the data, how quickly we turn around on that information, how we're sharing data. So I think that's been kind of a mindset shift for us, is the process by which we're doing that. I think that another thing that we might say is that we really understand how difficult things are out there for candidates. And so I don't know that it's been a mindset shift, but the idea of the addition of the additional advisors and how our advisors advise has been something that's been really helpful in helping with making sure that they get advisement from us, and then they get support, and we are aware of what they're being challenged by sooner rather than later. I hope that answers that question.
We have Member Sykes.
Yeah, I'm curious if you could speak to how as you've engaged in this process, like what have you noticed in your partnerships with participating districts and your program in regards to the data-driven decision-making process? Are you seeing site and district leaders more on board? Is that a collaborative process?
Well, we see, one of the things is that, we collect survey data all the time, and it's always, you always want more survey data, and sometimes you don't get as many respondents as you like. So one thing is we're getting more respondents. And I think that's because we're reaching out and then they're reaching back to us. So that's one where that we've seen a shift. I think our relationships, our drop-in hours that we've had with principals, our more frequent communication, all of that has enhanced our relationships with our districts. And then again, with the principal survey, it's been really valuable. We just put out our first newsletter, and that was to principals, and that was a result of our principal survey saying they would like some more resources and information. And so I think in that sense, we feel like we're being more responsive and there's more communication back and forth.
You had mentioned that you have a new leadership team compared to the first site visit. So I am hopeful and excited for all of you in this upcoming site visit. They're going to be able to see the program you put into place and everything that you shared today. Anyone have any other questions before we move to a motion? Seeing none, do we have a motion to accept the third quarterly report from the Santa Clara County Office of Education? And I see Member Hollis.
I move that we accept the third quarterly report from the Santa Clara County Office of Education.
Do we have a second? Member Sykes. And all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. And looks like we have the motion carries. We want to thank the representatives from the Santa Clara County Office of Education, Ms. Gutierrez and Dr. Wren.
Thank you.
Thank you all for presenting today. And for clarity, which item are we going to move to on the agenda?
Sorry, you've been good. No, we'll go to the Alameda County.
So that's going to be item number
11.
11. Thank you. Thank you so much for keeping us together. And thank you for everyone for your patience with our timeline today. I know it looks like we might be off about a half hour, but we will make sure that we have enough time for all of our programs to present. Item number 11 is the report of the Accreditation Revisit Team for Alameda County Office of Education. Consultants Hart Boyd and Dr. Timothy Weeks will introduce this item. Joining them today are institutional representatives, Kristen Bejure, Chief of Educator Effectiveness, Dr. Vince Matthews, Director of Leadership Development, and Derek Gorshow, Director of Career and Technical Education. Do we have anyone that needs to recuse themselves? And we have Member Sykes will be recusing. And with that, Mr. Boyd, if you could begin, please.
I'm actually going to turn it on over to Tim over here.
Thank you for your quick report. And
okay, we're done. Good morning, committee members. This item is a report of the Accreditation Revisit Team to the Alameda County Office of Education, or ACOE. ACOE held its provisional site visit December 4th through 6th in 2023. As a result of the site visit, the team recommended a status of accreditation with major stipulations, which the Committee on Accreditation granted at its January 2024 meeting. The stipulations pertain to the unit and its two commission-approved programs, the Clear Administrative Services Program and the Designated Subjects Career Technical Education Program. Additionally, one stipulation required ACOE to provide quarterly reports showing their progress in addressing the stipulations, and these were provided at the May, August, and October 2024 COA meeting, which was attended by representatives from the institution and answered the questions from this body. Another stipulation required ACOE to hold a provisional site revisit 1 year after the initial visit, and this was held virtually in January 27th through 29th, 2025, and proceeded in accordance with all accreditation protocols. Everyone at ACOE was a great pleasure to work with in preparation for this visit, especially Christian Bejure and Derek Gorshow, through this extremely interesting period of transformation and in preparation for the site visit. I would also like to thank Derek for his commitment to taking our feedback in the spirit of constructiveness as opposed to criticality, and see the transformation of their organization over the last year as they have addressed these stipulations. And joining us today from ACOE are Christian Bejure, Chief of Educator Effectiveness. Could you try again? He wants to get it. Try again. Okay, joining us today from ACOE are Christian Major, Chief of Educator Effectiveness, Dr. Vince Matthews, Director of Leadership Development, and Derek Gershaw, Director of Career and Technical Education. And also joining us today is the site visit team lead, Dr. Melissa Meets Hall. Melissa was fantastic to work with and was very knowledgeable and thoughtful leader throughout the process. I would also like to thank each of the team members of the site visit team, Dina Passis and Carrie Morgan, for contributing their time and expertise to the visit. The team worked diligently in preparation for the visit and worked extremely hard before, during, and after the visit in preparing for the report. And before I turn the meeting over to our team lead, Melissa Hall, I would also like to thank Hart Boyd for his guidance throughout this process. His institutional knowledge and experience with provisional flights was invaluable to the success of this process. So thank you, Hart. And I'll turn it over to Melissa, who will take it from here.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. Just a few comments, appreciative comments to the team, the Alameda team, and to the review team. This really was, as has been said in the reports that you've heard, prior to this item, this was about continuous improvement. At the time of the visit, we had, again, this is provisional. We had really a nascent development a program. Kristen, I think maybe had just been on board for a couple months. You'll fact check me, but so we came, and there were two programs. There was Derek directing quite a lot. Dr. Matthews, I'll talk a little bit about some of the details, but again, this notion of potentiality and continuous improvement. And as I think about the team, Carrie and Dina, and how we worked, that's what I'd like to share. That's I think you probably assume that we work a certain way, but I want to affirm how the team worked. So we reviewed all the standards. So I had a person with specialty and high knowledge in CTE, and that was Carrie, and I thank her so much for that. And then Dina with a focus, high knowledge and experience of an admin of CLEAR, for working around the capsules, if you will, thinking about those standards that the candidates measure themselves against. But to do this and to really give you a strong footing for our recommendation, the team works together. So we had many opportunities where we had two people that could be in on the interviews. What that provides for us as a review team, whether it's an initial review or a revisit, it provides us an opportunity to capture more of the quotes and the sense of what the respondents or the constituent groups are saying. In the formal report, which I know you've read, the details and all of those quotes unfortunately can't make it in. They don't make it in. So what I would like to do is just bring kind of some highlights, and then of course reaffirm our recommendation. So a lot of growth. A lot of structuring and strengthening of the structures that were partially in place. And I think through those quarterly reports, you've been able to see that. So PATH, which is Kristen's umbrella area, if you will, there's a lot of other things going on in there. They have more than just these two programs, but these are the two programs that were being reviewed for accreditation. So at the time of the initial visit, not all those staff positions that you would hope to have were in place. The fact that they've been able to envision and bring on, and as I said, really create structure which supports the ability to address the standards fully. A couple of those examples, Dr. Matthews here for the admin program, the addition of credential staff. So now there are 3 credential folks that we could talk to and hear about the processes. They could show us the evidence of that. So lots and lots of good growth there. Interviews, of course, as you know, ranged from the superintendent, candidates, completers, fiscal folks. And I just want to give a couple of those highlights then, and then hand it off. But candidates from both of those both the programs felt that the program was especially strong, and I'm reading my notes at this point so I can get some of these quotes right for us. Was especially strong in helping them develop habits of mind and to grow in their ability to reflect on their practice. And this was reflected in the feedback surveys and during those interviews. Another example, when they were discussing their roles, some of the descriptors that the Clara admin candidates used included expansive, collaborative, helpful, supportive, enriching, individualized, and growth. And this constituent group came from across Alameda County area and represented some districts such as perhaps Fremont, Berkeley, and Hayward. In addition, there was an overarching unified vision about the purpose of the work of the division, and very, very unifying. They're focused on educator development, recruitment, and retention. Their aim is to remove barriers to entry to the profession. From the full range of interviews, as I said, such as the superintendent to the fiscal manager, the team received confirmation that the programs within PATH are in direct response to district needs and requests. So requests directly from those districts that they assist in educator recruitment and retention. What was evident was working closely with those HR departments in the school districts, that they've collaborated to develop cost-effective programs. And because, as I've said, the strengthening of the division personnel and the funding, those systems are in place. So in summary, the team found that through diligent partnership and collaboration, there's been dramatic change in the structure and the systems to support consistent implementation of all standards. And then as to our recommendation, after close examination of documentation, data in the ADS, and the interviews conducted, the team makes the unanimous recommendation that the stipulations be removed. And it is a pleasure to have been of service here.
Thank you all for your report. And we would now invite the institutional representatives, if you could briefly comment about the report.
Good morning, Committee on Accreditation. I just want to gratitude primarily to Dr. Melissa Meets-Hall. The process, it was so supportive and huge support, a huge gratitude to Tim and Hart for supporting us. I would just argue that this process is like a really thorough process. I just feel the need to say, as a hardworking public servant, I found this government created process to hold our programs to a high standard of quality, to be very effective, to be very efficient, to be very thorough, and really supported us to level up our game to meet the high standard that you all set. So I just want to give tremendous gratitude to Tim Hart and Dr. Melissa Meets-Hall, and say that we're off and running now. I mean, hopefully, if you accept the committee. We'll be off and running to doing really high quality programming here in Alameda County in service of the young people here in our county. Dr. Matthews?
Good morning. I'll just add that the process was really a conversation. It was a deep conversation, but for me and for my colleagues, what we really appreciated was it was a conversation, term you've heard repeatedly this morning, but it was a conversation around continuous improvement. And it didn't feel like compliance based. It didn't feel like it was a thumb coming down on us, but it was really a deep conversation about how we can make sure that the candidates that we are trying to clear their credentials also have a deep basis in making things happen for kids and families. And so that conversation, you can feel the circular motions of that conversation. And I feel it was deeply, it assisted us in moving the hopefully, if you approve, as just said, moving our program to the next level. And just want to thank you for that, making it so.
Dr. Gorshaw, do you have anything you would like to share?
Well, I'm just very appreciative of the Committee on Accreditation, the site visit team, last year providing us very helpful guidance as a roadmap to improve our programs and the unit. And I think our teachers and our administrators that we serve and the students that they serve have all benefited from that. We have been getting great feedback from surveys that we've conducted with the teachers in the CTE program, for example. And I'm looking forward to hearing from what the students have to say. We're just about to send out a survey to all the participants in the program. I'm looking forward to seeing that data and looking at how we can improve our programs going forward, and just getting better and better. And I appreciate everyone who's supported us in the process.
Thank you all. Now, do we have any public comments for this item?
No public comment.
This is an opportunity for questions and comments from our committee members. And before I begin, I want to connect back to how Dr. Taylor, but a member Taylor had began our meeting today. It was just about this is a continuous improvement process. And I think you created, without knowledge, member Taylor, a theme for today. And we're seeing throughout this process, it's really an opportunity to do a deep dive. And it looks like that the three of you embrace this as a deep dive into your program. What are you doing and how are you ensuring the highest level of quality of a program possible for your candidates? So I do appreciate all of your hard work and working in collaboration with the commission and all of their hard work behind the scenes and helping, bottom line, to ensure everyone's success. And I think that's where everyone is coming from. So I appreciate how you began our meeting today. And please.
Yeah, I'd just like to comment on this report. It is a very complex report. It's clearly been a very complex process, but incredibly well written, and hats off really to Melissa, Hart, and Tim for a job well done.
Any other members, questions, comments? We have Member Jones.
I want to make a comment that having been engaged in this work for a long time in various ways, tons and tons of credit to the professional educators in the Alameda County Office of Ed. It is very daunting to work really hard without all the resources ever that you need. And then to have to really engage in this work to improve and to have done what you have done with the grace and effectiveness that you've done it is remarkable. So hats off.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Jones. Do we have a motion from any of our committee members? Motion from Member Taylor.
I move that the committee accept the recommendation of staff to remove stipulations and grant Alameda County Office of Education accreditation.
Do we have a second on the motion? We have Member Jones. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Congratulations, Alameda County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bajor, Dr. Matthews, Dr. Gorshow, Mr. Boyd, Dr. Weeks, Dr. Hall, and your entire team. And again, we commend you for your professionalism and that deep dive. We wish you the absolute very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're going to give our committee members an opportunity to take a break, a 5-minute break. So we're going to come back about 10:50 at 10:55. And just as a reminder that